So, Steve, congratulations on the MVP award.
Thanks, Kevin. Appreciate it.
So, for the folks that don't know who you are, just give a quick elevator pitch on who you are and what gets you fired up about helping IT pros in this industry.
Sure, yeah. So I'm Steve Weiner, Principal Architect for M365 Endpoint and Security here at SHI. And as of this May, Microsoft MVP for Security and Intune. So the Microsoft MVP program is their way of recognizing SMEs in certain areas.
Okay.
In the Intune field, as far as Microsoft Intune MVPs, there's about 80 globally, something like that.
Okay.
So it's growing, and it's really they're recognizing individuals who contribute to the overall technology, whether it be learning and content, or blogs, or creating solutions that help progress things, working with them on products. So yeah, it's definitely an honor to be part of that.
Yeah, it's a small but mighty group, and
Sure.
I know it's very hard to get into that. So we definitely wanted to celebrate that. But for the folks that don't actually know what Intune does for customers, can you just share a quick story about how your knowledge as an MVP has impacted a key customer here at SHI?
Sure, yeah. So since 2016, when I started getting folks to adopt managing their Windows PCs with Intune, which I guess a good way to look at it is kind of like managing mobile devices with an MDM. That was the future of Windows management once Windows 10 came out. And myself, my team, just hands on keyboard, working with customers, implementing Intune so they can manage this. There was a certain point where we got very busy, unfortunately, due to the pandemic in 2020. And we had a very large customer, pharmaceutical customer, about 15,000 users. And they had to divest into two separate entities. So they had about 15,000 PCs managed with Intune in the cloud, and needed to move half of them, let's say 7,000 or so, into a completely other tenant. And Microsoft said you're going to have to take these devices, completely wipe them, reset them, and re-enroll them. That was not acceptable to the customer.
Sounds painful.
Yeah, it would have been bad. Yeah, especially if everything went well, the downtime would have only been a few hours. If it didn't, you can imagine going a few days without a PC. So, yeah, it wouldn't have been good. So Microsoft said there's no way we can do this. And to be honest, that's what I like, is when things can't be done. I took a crack at it, and within about 4 weeks, we had a working draft of a solution that allowed them to migrate to another Intune environment without wiping. All they had to do was reboot the device once.
So you created a tool that didn't
Yes.
exist in the Microsoft ecosystem. You looked at third-party tools to do this from an autopilot perspective and modern management perspective, but none were there, so you created it on your own.
Yeah, and it seemed like it wasn't going to be a one-off, right? That's something you always have to, when you create something, you have to decide how much effort am I going to spend in this, and is it going to be worth it not just for this customer, but for many organizations. And it really felt like, hey, if they're running into this problem and it makes sense with more folks using modern management for Windows, then we should start solving for this.
Interesting. And so Zero Touch and Intune are the buzzwords that we hear all the time, but why don't you give one practical tip that you'd give IT admins to make their life easier with these tools?
Yeah, I mean, I think the goal of these tools is to make the managing of PCs easier. For so long, PC management has been very stagnant. It involved joining to a corporate domain, an Active Directory domain, which is on your corporate network, so more often than not in the building. It involved imaging, which imaging is just you build your own Windows and take off what the manufacturer puts on, and put everything in that you want, and have to do that manually, whether it's a USB stick or a server you're connecting these PCs to. And it would just be a very cumbersome process to get PCs to end users, especially if they're onboarded quickly, and even more so when they're remote, when everyone went remote after 2020. So the whole idea is, by adopting Intune, they can literally, when we say zero touch, it means take a PC, drop ship it to an end user, and nobody touches it, and they'll set it up themselves. Same way they set up an iPhone.
And that sounds groundbreaking. Why haven't more people moved from traditional to modern management, in your opinion?
Yeah, I think it's like anything else with change, right? A lot of folks maybe don't understand it. They're apprehensive. There's security implications. There's operational implications. When we started in 2016, it was moving very slowly, right? So as far as folks adopting it now, recent Microsoft, I'll say a Microsoft study said that about over 60% of their PCs that they have deployed, Windows machines, are now managed via Intune and the cloud. So it took a while. It was a slow burn, and I think just like anything else, helping folks to adopt it is really important.
So in the last 5 years, how many of these deployments have you done from SCCM to Intra and Intune?
Personally, myself and my team, we have done over 1,000 implementations for many organizations. It might be more now, but it's
So
yeah.
you've stubbed your toe a lot. You have a lot of experience in what not to do, so that when you have a new customer, you can help them around those things.
Yeah, it's about the implementation of it. We're fortunate enough to have a very good relationship with Microsoft, so I've been involved in a lot of the direction of the product. We help work with them to bring Autopilot to market. So they're very open to that feedback. So we're able to work very quickly, work with customers, implement things, see if something's wrong, see if something's needed, work with Microsoft, and turn that around.
And so last question, Steve.
Yeah.
Customers already gone modern. They have Intune and Intra set up either through us or through somebody else. What's next for them? What do you see other Microsoft-centric customers focus on after they've gotten modern management done?
Yeah, so if you want to talk about a buzzword, we're seeing folks adopt a zero trust strategy, and albeit a buzzword, zero trust is a modern security framework. So folks are taking their modern endpoint management with Intune, and they're looking to expand what they use with Microsoft to do a full Defender, Microsoft E5, basically a security deployment. They're looking to figure out now a modern way to secure their endpoints, their data, and their identities, and we're helping them with that now.
Yeah, it's a really exciting time. It's really hard to become a Microsoft MVP. We've been aspiring to do that since before you walked in the door, so congratulations on being the one to finally crack the code.
Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate your time today.
Absolutely, appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thanks, Kevin.